Hi, this is Roslynn Eve, and we are doing a ball shape today. So if this was a pool ball, let's give it a pool table. Okay. So there would be the table. And you know how you've got that side on the table there? So the pool balls don't fall off. Let's give it one of those. There we go. Now let's give it a wall in the background. There we go. And now you can see this is all very flat, so it looks very like cartoon-like. So how do we give it some three-dimensional shadowing so it looks more photorealistic type of thing? Okay. So how do we make this transition between this back wall and the table part more curved in there, because there's a sharp line there? So we take a color that is partway between this lighter green and this darker green, and watch how I make an edge there. Now see, it almost looks sort of like a line, an extra line in there. So if you want to make it even more curved, then you're going to add a thinner line covering over the top line there. And down here you'll make another thin line covering over that edge. And this one on the top of it, on the top edge of that middle line, you're going to, and let me show you. Okay, so what line am I talking about? This is the line between the table and the side wall. So you'll put another thin line covering that top edge that's between this color and the back wall green. And you'll do another thin line here between this line and the table. And that's how you're going to get that to look even more curved. So what do we do about this top edge? Because it's so flat looking, and really there's a curved edge before you get to the top there. So let's add an edge. And again, you can do the same thing. You can make little transition thinner lines there between this color and this color. So it's going, so the table would be going darker, so you go darker, and then you're at that color, and then you're going darker than this color, but it's in between those two colors. Same thing up here. Okay, so now let's look at what a round object does. Okay, so we've got everything to there, so let's look at a round object. So how do we make this look round? We're going to put a shadow here. Okay, so let's put the shadow there. There we go. So is the light coming from this direction? Okay, can anybody figure that one out? Yes, the light is hitting this side, but it's actually not coming straight up the pool table here. It's actually more on an angle like that. In other words, it's coming from slightly back here rather than like down this way. It's not coming this way. It's not coming this way. It's not coming straight on. Why do I know that? Look at the shadow. If it was coming straight like this orange arrow, then this would be the lightest, this would be the darkest, which it is. But this curved shadow line here, see how this is curved? It would be straight because it's 50% light and 50% dark. So the line, the shadow line, see how the brown is kind of curving out like this and then coming back? It tells you that there's more shadow area here than there is light. So the light must be hitting the other side of the ball a little bit more. So that's how we know. So that's why I'm saying the yellow line is more accurate. So let's go to the next one here. So the light, if we turn the light and place the lamp, let's say there's a tall lamp there. Let's say we place it so the light is coming from this direction now. The ball shape blocks the light. See, it's hitting this side, and it blocks the light from hitting this side because of its mass or its substance. So, and the same with this side wall here, you see, the light is not hitting it from this direction, or that would be lit up. So there must be a bit of a shadow on this back wall. It's not really strong, so it's only a little bit shadowed. And that's why I said the light must be going from there. But here the light is coming down like this. So instead of the shadow going from here to here, it's now going from here there on an angle. See the angle? I'll take it away again. See how this is more straight up and down? And see how this is more angled now. The shadow is more angled this way. Okay, so as the light moves in this direction, see, we'll do some more. See, as it moves in this direction, then it's hitting here, and the shadow's now on an angle like this. Now let's do one more if it's at the top. See how it's now here. Again, how come the shadow is a little higher than halfway? Because the light is hitting the opposite side a little bit more rather than being straight down. Okay, so that's how you know. So pay attention to the objects around you and how that works. Now, notice that this here, the ball looks like it's floating in the air, right? Why does it look like that? Because the light is hitting the ball, there should be a shadow. But if it's floating, then there wouldn't be, right? Because it's in the air, so the light can wrap around it to a certain extent depending on how high above the table it is. So as soon as we set this ball on the table, okay, so we're going to go down here, we get a shadow. So there's your shadow, see? Because the light is hitting the top of the ball, and the ball is now blocking that as it sits on the table. But it can be, depending on how bright it is, it can be diffused more. Like it can sort of wrap around because it reflects off of other objects and people and whatever. So it can kind of curve in from other angles to a certain extent. So then you're going to get it being darker right where it's sitting on the table than it is further out this way. So how do we show that? Okay, so see how I made it a little bit darker there, and now we're going to make it a little bit darker as it gets further in, and then we've got really dark now because it's really blocked the light there underneath the ball. Now normally you'd smudge that or like blend it a little bit more than that, so I'm just doing this as a rough in so you guys get the right idea. So yeah, you'd blend these transitions, That's what I meant by the transition lines here. You see, these would have to be blended, same as those ones would there and up here on that edge. So that is what you're looking for and what you're looking at. Now, if you enjoyed this is the end of this tutorial. If you enjoyed this is where you can find me. This is my Facebook page. And I also have a book that talks about the 40 ingredients in art that artists can use to make their work more exciting, more memorable, and more strong. It's all about how strong and memorable is your image. Okay, so in my book it doesn't cover in detail shadowing and these basic things, so that's why I'm doing some video tutorials on it for people. For people that are starting out especially, or people that didn't get any training. So there you go, that gives you an understanding. So if you liked it, of course, hit the like button. And if you would like to subscribe and see more of my tutorials, which I have plenty on there, just hit that subscribe and you'll get all the new stuff. And you can find all the other stuff. Roslynn Eve. And here is how you spell my name. There you go. 2 N's. And all my video tutorials are on YouTube under Roslynn Eve. And like I said, this is my page so that you can find me if you want an analysis done on your art, or if you have any questions about how you get my book, things like that, then you can reach me there. Okay, thank you. Bye for now.